Hello and welcome to a different type of video on this channel. I'm gonna be a little bit of a vlog behind the scenes, traveling with me for the next few days. I'm trying to find the 10 smallest towns in the state of Arkansas, and maybe we'll find some other stuff along the way as well. First thing I need to do is go pick up my rental car, hopefully get a good one. I can already tell I'm gonna be bad at this behind the scenes vlogging stuff because, you know, I just did a bunch of stuff and I didn't film it. Packed and had lunch, and now I gotta go back to the office before I leave. But you all don't wanna see that anyways, right? It's like setting a camera up to make it look like I'm actually being, filmed packing my suitcase. Nah. So we'll just skip all that kind of stuff. So let me stop by the office for a couple hours and then we'll get on the road. So I just left work and I'm heading to my destination tonight of Shell Knob, Missouri. It is just north of the Arkansas border. And so that's the closest place I could find to the first town I'm trying to go to in Arkansas tomorrow. I'll tell you about that here when I get to my destination. But about a 4.5 hour drive from Wichita to Shell Knob, or 4.5 hours, something like that, after a day of work. So just trying to get there tonight. Got an Airbnb, and so I'm gonna get there, get settled, and get planned for tomorrow. For me, one of the worst parts of these trips is the getting to where I want to start. Usually on these trips, I'm constantly stopping somewhere. We got 30, 40 miles, I go to the next place, but when you got 4 or 5 hour drive to start, the trip, that's like the most boring part. So I totally get bored. I listen to some podcasts maybe. When I'm actually traveling around exploring, I'm usually listening to music. But these long trips, these long drives, all these places I drive past that I want to stop, but I know I don't have time to today, so just got to keep on going. Most of the time when I'm looking for somewhere to stay on these trips, I'm just trying to find somewhere that's inexpensive and convenient to where I'm trying to go. And this Airbnb was the kind of closest, and it was pretty inexpensive. It was like $70. Everything in this area, because it's a little bit of resort tourist kind of area, is more expensive. So, or a hotel that was cheaper would have taken me quite a bit longer to get to where I'm going tomorrow. So yeah, I think it's looks like it's on the lake. So as we're approaching, hopefully we stay on the road, and hopefully it's a nice place to get some rest. But usually, like I said, I'm just trying to find somewhere to get to where I'm going, maybe do a few things, then go to bed so I can get up early and head out. Been driving for a while and I saw a scenic view sign, so thought I'd get out and check it out. So not bad. The address for the place I'm staying is Shell Knob, Missouri, but I don't think it's actually in a town. I think it's kind of down some back roads. So about 30 minutes from arrival. It's been a very windy and hilly drive as I've gotten to the southern part of Missouri, but it's very beautiful. You can see the driving through the middle of these rocks. Quite the drive. It is. The sun has not set yet, but it is dark as you are underneath all the trees. Got a lot of that kind of road ahead. Just saw a sign that said crooked and steep ahead. I don't think I've seen that one before. So this is an Airbnb where you're sharing the house, and I'm in the upstairs part of the house. Very beautiful area on Table Rock Lake. Long windy road to get here. Kind of tired at the end of the day, but I do have some planning to do for tomorrow, so gotta get the route figured out, and I don't know where I'm staying tomorrow night yet. I'll show you a little bit here about my planning. Here's the map of Arkansas, and you can see the numbers represent which of the top 10 smallest towns it is. So I'm up there not too far from number 7 currently on the other side of the line in Missouri. Will take a little while to get there, maybe 45 minutes tomorrow. And then I'll be heading from 7 to 3 is about 70 miles. And I've got a little bit of a cheat sheet here. Blue Eye is number 7 to Gilbert. It's number 3. And then that's it in this part of the state. Although you can see these down here, but I'm gonna go around the state this way, down to here, then back up to there, and then head home. I think it's gonna take about 4 days. So I think all I'm gonna be able to do tomorrow is get these 2, and then maybe look for some ghost towns and make some other videos. I kind of started doing some, a little bit of research, try to find some other places. I haven't done very much in terms of the GT for ghost towns. And so that's what I got planned out. The other thing I do is I have all the towns that I'm gonna see, some information printed out about each one of them. That'll give me just a little bit of information when I get there, but we'll get there and figure out more kind of as we go. And the other thing I have is my gazetteer for Arkansas, and it helps me figure out a little more specific. So tomorrow we're starting right there, which is going to be an interesting town that's half in Missouri and half in Arkansas, and the part in Arkansas is very, very small. And then we're going to head this way, but I'm not sure where the next town is. It's actually on a whole nother map. Gilbert, which is right there. It's going to be 70 miles from there, and then from there to the next place is 200 miles. So that'll be looking for a hotel somewhere between those 2 places. So obviously the purpose of this trip is to find the 10 smallest towns. And so, going to those 2 towns tomorrow, that's the immediate goal. And depending on how long that takes and how long it'll take to get to the next place, will determine if I go anywhere else tomorrow, like finding some ghost towns or any historic places. So I use booking.com a lot. And so right over here, Victoria, that's where the next day is going to start. Jonesboro has a bunch of hotels. That's about an hour to get there. And then there's this town called Blytheville, and there's 3 hotels. That's closer. That's only 20 minutes. So that one's $150. That one is not a good score. And then you got the Deerfield Inn, kind of right in the middle. So I think that's the one we're gonna pick. A lot of times I'll read some reviews. I'll check the different categories. It looks okay, but I think it's gonna be a long day, gonna be getting there late. I'm just gonna be wanting somewhere to sleep, so I think it's probably gonna be fine, but I guess we won't know till we get there. Deerfield Inn, let's book it. And looks like I better get it. It's the last room left. Back on the road. It is Thursday morning and heading to the first town on our list, Blue Eye, Arkansas. The Airbnb there. Really nice, right on the lake, and really awesome breakfast and super nice people. But it's always for me a little awkward. I'm definitely like meeting people, but when I know that that I'm not going to have a long relationship with someone in terms of like, you know, an Airbnb situation where I'm staying in the same house as someone, it's always kind of awkward to try to get into how much conversation do you get into. And so because I was trying to get going early, I just kind of had short conversation. There was another couple staying there, so you know, it was kind of like, hey, thanks for everything, heading out. So they knew that I was a track coach. The other, you know, I don't really talk about the travel channel a lot because that probably for two reasons. One, you know, sometimes people are a little bit like, are you filming me? Or you know, what are you doing? And that kind of stuff. And I try not to, you know, film a whole lot of everything in there. But then the other thing is it does spark lots of conversation, and especially with older crowd. I have my demographic is mostly 50 and over, and those people are really interested. And if I'm trying to get my day going, it can literally put me a couple hours behind. So I usually don't say much, but they knew that I was a track coach, and so that was good conversation. So anyways, heading to the first town, which is Blue Eye. Very interesting. It's half in Missouri, half in Arkansas. And the part that's in Arkansas is smaller than the Missouri part, and it technically, I guess it's two different towns. I'm not exactly sure. I have a little bit of a drive, this long, windy road that goes about 12 miles, and it's going to take a while. So when I booked, this is I usually book things quick. I usually don't try to spend too much time figuring out where to stay. And so what happened on this one, it was very inexpensive, which was really inexpensive for as nice as a place as that was. But it's only 8 miles from Blue Eye. Well, 8 miles as the crow flies. But to get down this windy road, you got to go back a long way and then come around. It's like an hour away from Blue Eye. So I could have stayed somewhere closer, I realized. But it was a nice place, very enjoyable. Had a nice home-cooked breakfast. Can't beat that. And it's the little twisting and turning road will get me definitely woke up this morning. So it is Thursday morning, and if you're a regular watcher of this channel, you know that on Thursdays and Sundays at 7 a.m. I release videos. And so a thing that, you know, I do if I'm traveling, usually on a Sunday, not as much on a Thursday because I'm not always able to travel on a Thursday, but I'm kind of watching to see how the video's doing. And then most of the comments that happen, they happen in the first few hours of the video going up. So I'll stop every once in a while, check out, you know, comments, try to reply, and see how the video's doing. And but I always enjoy, you know, there's a lot of people that watch the videos in the first hour or two in the morning. I don't know if they do before they go to work, or maybe as they're starting to work, or if they're retired. Just a good way to start the day. So that's why I open them or release them at 7 o'clock, so that people can wake up or early in the day, watch one of my videos on Thursdays and Sundays. So always fun to see how that does. Sometimes the video does really well and hits, you know, a sweet spot with people, and sometimes they don't do very well at all. Kind of my morning routine on these trips is to go to the gas station and fill up the gas tank, kind of no matter where I'm at in terms of how much gas I got. And usually I'll get like coffee or something to eat. But I already had the breakfast, so I did grab a couple of snacks. You know, you never know when you're going to eat on days like this. I sometimes just get going and I just skip lunch. So maybe having a snack or two is good. And a lot of places I go don't have any restaurants, and you don't know when. I mean, I've gone places where I've you know, gone the entire day till the late evening and not found anywhere to eat. So I think there'll be a little more places available to stop throughout today, but you just never know. So I kind of start the day, stock up, so to speak, and then head out on the road. I got about 20 miles until I get to Blue Eye, Arkansas. That wasn't very nice on the Hillbilly Glass Shack. Done with the first town of the day and the first town of the whole trip. You know, I usually do the videos counting them down from like 10 to 1. So obviously I shoot them out of order. And the first couple, if I haven't filmed in a while, it's just getting that rhythm is always a little bit, you know, strange. So I usually spend too much time in the place because I'm wanting to make sure I get everything, and then I'm re-recording things. And so but I'm also, if you notice, I'm wearing a different shirt. And here's the shirt I was wearing. And the reason is because the next place I'm going to is not one of the 10 smallest towns in Arkansas. But in the video, to have continuity, even though I'm going to be doing this over 4 days, anytime I'm in one of those 10 smallest towns, I am wanting to wear the same shirt. And it's just like a subtle thing that if you saw every time I went somewhere and it was a different shirt, you'd be realizing it was on a different day. When it's all the same shirt and generally the same weather, I might run into some rain that could mix things up. It might feel like it's all in one day. It just flows a little better, even though it's not realistic to be able to visit all these towns in one day. So, you know, I'm changing out to a different shirt. So after 4 days of wearing the same shirt, it would certainly get a little bit grungy, you could say. So there'll be different shirts throughout the weekend that I'm wearing when I'm not in one of those 10 smallest towns. I've gone, though, to those places and forgot to change the shirt back and filmed myself talking and realized it and had to redo everything again. So hopefully I don't do that this time. Maybe you've watched some of the videos about Arkansas I've done before I've released this one. But the next town is Zinc, Arkansas. And I wasn't sure, you know, I was looking up places to try to find ghost towns in between these 10 smallest towns. And this town Zinc came up. I didn't really know much about it. And then once I looked it up, I realized it is the home of the KKK. And the Grand Wizard of the KKK lives there, and there's a church there. I have watched some YouTube videos. There's people, actually black people have gone there and filmed videos and interviewed people in town. And so I don't think there's too much to be, you know, worried about in terms of my safety. But it is going to be strange. I mean, not every day you go to the headquarters of the KKK, at least the town. But, you know, there's that. But I'm also kind of interested about the town. There's a couple interesting things to see. And it always, you know, it wasn't always the headquarters of the KKK. And I wonder if the people there's probably people there that don't, you know, agree with that. And I don't know, it's just going to be a strange little visit. So I'm going to check out Zinc, Arkansas next. One of my problems when I'm doing trips like this is I just get so distracted by places to see, and I want to see more and more. And so I'm driving to Gilbert, which is the next 10 smallest town, and I drove right through a ghost town that I looked at last night called Eros, and it had some cool buildings. So I turned around, came back, made a video. Now there's another town called Bruno, not too far from here, that has it looks like a lot of cool stuff. So this is how a day where I think I might just go to 3 towns ends up becoming half a dozen or something like that. So I'm also trying to figure out, well, how do I make a video out of these? Do I just have 2 towns in this area? I make a little video about 2 towns, or do I try to find a third one? Because I usually do maybe 3 or 4 in a little grouping. So I don't know. So I just finished Eros. And the thing is, I didn't know much about it. So I probably will have to, after the fact, try to put in some facts on the video, because right now, you know, not much internet out here, and hard to look up stuff. And a lot of these towns, there really is not very much to find anyways. So on to Bruno, and then maybe we'll get to Gilbert. But the other thing is, after Gilbert, I have a long drive to get to the Deerfield Inn out there in, I don't even remember what town, Blytheville, Arkansas. So yeah, long day ahead. Just saw the second ghost town there, Bruno, and I think I was on somebody's like private property looking at this like old school, but didn't say any like no trespassing, and there wasn't like a mailbox at the driveway. So I don't know, sometimes confusing. And I was driving all around that place trying to find these historic sites that it said on Wikipedia that there were some historic sites, and it was right there, just on a different road that wasn't very clear. So anyways, yeah, it's 2 o'clock, and I got about 15 minutes to get to Gilbert, and I think that'll be the last town that I see, even though I still have a lot of the day left. Still got a long drive after this, and I've just done this enough to know if I go like too hard, I'll get tired, and not really, the next few days will be rough. So we're gonna go see this town of Gilbert that only has like 20-something people, and then we'll head east to, keep forgetting the name of that town, Blytheville. Well, I got out of Gilbert just in time. I knew there might be some rain today. Man, it's coming down, and I'm just crossing over that Buffalo River right there. But I've got a long drive. I've got like 280 miles, so long drive. My day of shooting is over, and I got a long time to drive. Hopefully I can get out of this rain. I can beat it out of here, because it just hit, but I had to drive back into it because there's only one way in and out of Gilbert. So it's even maybe starting to lighten up right now. Let's head east, eastbound and down.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. What we gonna do with this? It can't be done. We got a long way to go, and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound as watch old bandits run.
That was pretty nasty right there. I kind of came out of nowhere. It was a nice day. And now still some more, I think, ahead, but I think the worst of it is behind. So I just got to settle in. I got a 4-hour drive now, because there are none of the other smallest 10 towns anywhere near between here and where I got to go, which is the extreme northeast part of Arkansas. $70 in Blytheville, Arkansas. So here we go. Need to get some food, and I don't think there's much option right here, but we'll have to go up and see the faucet wants to keep dripping. So as I try to close this part's a little bit open. So I close that. Now this part's open. Not much happening in the old downtown Blytheville on a Thursday night. I asked the hotel manager kind of like a place to get some good local something to eat, and he kind of laughed and he said, go to the Holiday Inn. They have a Perkins there. That would be the best place. I was thinking there's got to be somewhere, you know, downtown or something. He was right. I don't always eat that healthy, but on these road trips, especially early in the road trips, I try to eat healthy, just because I'm motivated to try to do well, and then it gets worse every day. So we'll see how my meals go as the weekend goes on. Pretty long day. Was up, 6:30, and was on the road by 7:30, and then got to Blytheville, is how you say it, and it is now 9 o'clock. So long day, but it's pretty typical on these days where you're trying to get to every part of the state, and I just have a limited amount of days to be able to do it. So still very enjoyable. Had some interesting places I visited today. So, but looking at tomorrow. So today I started up here somewhere, drove around there, went kind of this way down to there, and then this long drive this evening kind of went all down through here and up to here. So I'm close to these two. So those are two I'm going to knock out. And then I've got to go down here, and I don't know if I'm going to stay, how long this is going to take to do these and then get down to here. That's basically like I did today. So I'm not going to book a hotel yet. I'm going to see how long it takes me to get through here. And I just don't know, these roads, how quick I can get down to here, if I'm going to be going like this or like this. So we'll see. So maybe I'll stay somewhere down here, or maybe I'll try to get that done and get more over towards this one, as I only have 4 days, and that'll be, I need to get, this is going to be halfway to get all the way through these. We are up and at 'em. Friday morning, day 2 of this Arkansas adventure, with a slight stop in Missouri on day 0. So hotel was average. That's what you get when you there's not much options, and you kind of go with the cheap-ish option. The good thing is parking right in front of the door. I love when you can park right in front of the door. It's one of my favorite things, because I always got to unload a bunch of stuff like drone stuff and wires and stuff. So it's just nice to not have to carry all that and make a whole bunch of trips up and down the steps. And so it's nice to park literally right in front of the door. It's cool. And I slept decent, so maybe the bed was decent. Water pressure in the shower was very poor. Towel, really bad towel, so I have my own towel and brought it. And so I guess the towel was fine because it was my towel. And the Wi-Fi was really bad. So I was trying to upload a video that I'm putting out on Sunday, and so I couldn't even upload it. So I'll probably just do it as I'm driving today, because I'll have better service just driving around. So, and then the breakfast wasn't anything to be writing home about either. So overall, not very good. But $70 and I slept really good. So, but I was also really tired. So now I'm at the Love's travel station here, and we're gonna grab a coffee and get on the road. really awful at this behind the scenes filming, like filming the gas and filming the coffee. I did get the guy with the sock though, but I don't know. This seems like it's not very interesting. Tell me if you don't think this is interesting. I'm gonna try to show you the interesting stuff about traveling like this. Feels like it's hard to make a video like this. So I'm excited for the towns I'm going to today. I know the first two are not too far from here, which is nice. And then the third one is pretty far from here. I slept in a little bit, so it's just after 8 o'clock, and we're gonna hit the road and head to Victoria, which I believe is the smallest town in Arkansas. So we'll see what that's all about. I just got kicked out of Victoria, Arkansas. I was sitting there in front of the post office, or it's not really a post office, it's their little administration building, but the post office would be in there. And it's a privately owned town, and she did not want a visitor. She kind of said, well, I can maybe call someone to come talk to you. And all, you know, the way I try to be fly on the wall in these places. Sorry, I'm down a dirt road because I went a little outside of town to fly the drone to get my final shot. That's usually the last thing I do is fly a drone around the outskirts of town. So I'm getting back to the paved road here in a second. But, you know, like I was saying, I try to be a fly on the wall and just observe and take some videos and tell people what I see. And so trying to explain that to someone, she was certainly, I mean, I'm sitting on in the front of this building like a, you know, knucklehead out there, just like a big smile on my face. Hey, how's it going? And she was like, what are you doing here? I was gonna record it, but I decided not to do that. But yeah, so smallest town in Arkansas. Don't come and explore. Got a little bit of a drive to my next place, heading to Jerome, Arkansas, and it's a good 3 hours away. And like I had mentioned previously, I don't have a place to stay yet. But I did get through the first couple towns pretty early, by about 10:30, and so it'll take me till almost 2 o'clock to get to Jerome. That's, you know, a big chunk of the day. So I want to get there. I want to see how long it'll take to do the Jerome part of the video, and then probably try to figure out where I'm going to stay, because I could probably get towards the next place. And, you know, I could really push hard, and I could go to a whole bunch of places and all that, but I also don't want to make this trip not enjoyable. So obviously I have a pace I got to keep up. I think if I hit the Jerome town today, that'll be 5 towns of these top 10 in the first 2 days. We've got 2 days to go. That is a pretty good pace, and some of the other towns are a little closer together on the western side of the state. So I get through that, and maybe after Jerome I'll see if there's anything else I might want to film between there and the next town, and pick up maybe a small town USA video, or, you know, a couple ghost towns or something like that. So we'll see. But I'm going to go ahead and zip down from the northeastern part of the state to the southeastern part of the state. So we'll try to find maybe a good podcast and knock out a couple hours. Quick lunch break stop on the 3-hour drive. Got a little bit of fried chicken and a slushie. Woo. Been driving for a couple hours. I got about 50 miles to go to Jerome, and thought I'd just stop and stretch my legs. This says Arkansas Post Museum. I don't know anything about Arkansas Post, so wander around for a few minutes and see what it is. It's just pretty impressive. I just saw a little Arkansas Post Museum on the map and thought I would stop. I think it's free. There was somebody that came out and asked me how I was doing. They said everything's open, so. Started in 1686. Like, it's a long time ago, 300 years. No, 350 years almost. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna give like a full video tour, but I'll show you some of the few things that are here. So I'm gathering this isn't where the actual Arkansas Post was, but it's kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of a memorial of, you know, or a nod to what it was like, some of the things, museum type stuff. But down this road, not too far, is where it actually was. So, you know, normally I would go there, but we're on a mission to see the smallest towns in Arkansas. So I'll make a mental note of this, but I think it would be a cool video to explore that history. I know nothing about it, so instead I'm just gonna go check out like log cabins and stuff. Like, we're just sitting in the by the road here. So this is what it would be like to walk to your death by hanging. Any final words? Like and subscribe. Back on the road onto Jerome in 49 miles. I think I'm kind of done for the day. I'm looking for a hotel, and I got about an hour to get to the closest place to the next small town I'm visiting called Tinsman, and Warren, Arkansas is kind of the closest place that looks like it has a hotel. Nothing was available online, but I called the hotel. There's like one hotel in the town. So I called the hotel, they have rooms, so I guess maybe they just don't do online booking. $70 again, so we'll see how that goes. I could maybe do another town, but I think I'm gonna, it's about 4:30, so it's gonna be till 5:30 till I get there, and I think I'm doing okay. So I'm about halfway done. Some of the other towns are more bunched together, and I'll get there a little bit early, maybe relax, have a little more time to look at a little more of the planning and figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow, because I have more places to see tomorrow. I also need to edit a little bit of video onto Warren, Arkansas, and I think we're done hunting for the day, but maybe we'll see something along the way that's interesting. I love a good town square you can spin around in Monticello, Arkansas. Nice carpet. Let's see what the room looks like. Not so sure about that. Okay, not bad. Better than I was expecting. Yeah, don't think I'm gonna be hanging out at the pool. Looks like we have a festival of some sort down here in Warren. Maybe a concert tonight. First of all, Robertson Smokehouse. The loaded brisket fries. Oh my. Very good. And turns out so Warren, Arkansas is the tomato capital of the state, and I guess that's the official fruit of the state fruit. And there's little tomatoes everywhere around, little posters and stuff like that. And this is the weekend of their big Pink Tomato Festival, which is one of the longest running community festivals in the United States. So I think it would be rude to not at least stop by.
Warren Kearns, the category of hottest, you are the winner. Best tasting winner is Kay Robinson. Kay Robinson, best tasting, who also had an unbelievably tasty hot salsa.
Pretty good festival. Man, there's a ton of rides squeezed into this little area. If I was a kid, I would love it. Would love to stay all night and hang out at the festival, but my mission is the top 10 smallest towns in Arkansas, so I need to get back and do some planning. But yeah, kind of fun that I happened to be here. I did a little donation to the cause. I guess they have a bike race called the Pink Tomato Tour de Tomato. Yeah, Pink Tomato Festival Tour de Tomato. So they didn't have like a 5K or anything running, which would have been odd, but I supported the bike race, and I got a shaved ice. So, you know, no one would judge me if I ate 2 different salads in the same day. So 2 slushies / shaved ices in the same day, I say no problem. Tensman is my first one tomorrow. I'm planning on to go here, get these 4 tomorrow, and then that will leave me just these 2 for Sunday. Saturday morning, we are up and at 'em, kind of a late start to the morning, unplanned. Actually had to end up doing some work for my regular job, coaching track and field, even though it's Saturday. But there really isn't normal hours when you're a college coach. I work most weekends of the year, and so people might be wondering, well, how did you leave, and take a couple days off work? But I'm constantly working all the time, most of the time 7 days a week throughout the year. So having a day or 2 here and there, you still average more than the 40 hours per week. That's the normal Monday through Friday gig. But anyways, had to do some stuff this morning, and also it was supposed to be raining, and it's surprisingly clear. So I slept in just a little bit, took a while to get going, and it's 9 o'clock, and so a little late to get going, but I think that it'll be okay. Heading to Tensman, which is the first town, one of the first small towns here, and it's maybe about a 30-minute drive to get there. And then we've got 4 towns at least we're going to see see what time I get through those 4 towns, and then it's a bit of a drive up to where I'm staying tonight. Once again, it's kind of like get through these ones in the morning and then have a drive, and so we'll see. There are a couple other ghost towns I looked up and found that are in the vicinity, so whether I try to do that later today or maybe tomorrow, which will be my last day, that'll be kind of the decision later in the day. Going through this process, I've learned to plan certain things but not plan every detail, and because if I plan every detail and if I don't accomplish it, it'll just get frustrating. I kind of want to enjoy the process, so I'm going to see these 4 towns, and I can get to those, and then if I can do more, if I feel good, I don't want to be tired and dragging and just out there filming things like a zombie. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, well, there's a nice church and a cemetery. A lot of cool stuff to see in Arkansas. Just left the town of Tinsman, and I've got about an hour to the next town. There's 3 towns kind of grouped somewhat close together, especially for this trip. So that'll be nice. But something I noticed, that probably doesn't come through on the videos when I edit them, is kind of the feeling that you have in the towns. And so this one, it was so quiet. Like, I was doing the little talking to the camera part, and I was almost talking softly because I felt like everyone in the town could hear me. And I know that wasn't true, but I felt like if I was just out there walking around, being loud, that somebody would be like, what the heck is this guy doing? So I wasn't whispering, but I was talking low. And, but man, it was interesting. I try to go through, when a town is that small, I try to get through every road, every little back street. And some of these places, down here in rural Arkansas, probably not too many people besides the people that actually live on those little back streets drive down there. And I'll show you one that was like, oh my goodness. And I don't know, I couldn't tell if it was a yard sale or if that's just the way it was. So, you always kind of wonder, man, is somebody going to come kind of be mad at me for driving around? And it hardly has ever happened, ever. And usually if anybody does ask me, I say, I'm here for tourism. And it kind of gets a little bit of a strange look, or something. And I go, hey, I love small towns, and I love exploring places like your town. I think your town's beautiful. It's kind of, and then that always seems to loosen them up, especially if it's someone who's older, and it's like, oh wow, somebody's appreciating where I live. It's hardly ever been done before. So interesting experience in Tinsman, and now off to Whalen Springs. Don't let them pick guitars and drive them old trucks. They're gonna be doctors and lawyers and such. Not looking good. The clouds are getting dark. I was worried that might happen today. We've got 2 towns I have to get to, so it's a little after noon, and so I got a little bit of time to work with. But sometimes on these trips I don't like to book the hotel room the night before. I did that last night, and hopefully I don't end up regretting that decision. But it's supposed to 50-50 rain. You never know. So far I've been lucky today, but it looks pretty cloudy and rough, and I think I'm supposed to go that direction. It just got super windy. Got tree branches all over the road. Driving right into it. It hadn't started raining yet, but glad I was able to get the drone shot of Whalen Springs, because it is, all of a sudden it looks like Kansas down here in southwest Arkansas. I'll show you the radar that I'm getting ready to drive into. I'm near Prescott, Arkansas, and it is a little after 12:30, so maybe I'll stop and get some lunch and let it pass through, And hopefully it passes through and I keep heading at it. You can hear it's coming down. I keep heading at it and through it to the other side. Since I really didn't eat breakfast this morning, I basically just had a coffee. Mexican food sounded pretty good. I can eat a bunch of those chips and queso. So maybe we'll just wait it out a while and have some food. Very delicious lunch and filling. I won't need to eat again for a while. The rain looks like it's going to be here for a while as well. So I'm only 30 minutes from the next town of McNabb, and I'm going to just head that way and kind of be there. You know, I could film stuff in the rain. I could get an umbrella and walk around and film stuff, but I can't fly the drone in the rain, so that's the bummer. I hope that at least this stops enough at some point that I could fly the drone. We'll see. Maybe we'll just be hanging out in the vehicle for a while, waiting for it to stop raining. Come on, Arkansas. I have arrived to McNabb, and it's still kind of raining. Not hard, actually. The rain has let up, but it's still raining, and I've seen lightning a few times. I'm kind of driving around and getting some of the, I guess you could call it B-roll, some of the shots of some of the buildings in town, but I can't. I could probably do my talking to the camera. I'm in a park right now that has some little shelter, but I can't do the drone shot, so I'm just gonna hang out for a little bit, see what we do. I don't know. We'll just wait. Tick tock, tick tock. Got through McNabb, got the drone up. It stopped raining for long enough. Still kind of sprinkling, but got the drone up, got in there, got out of there, and heading to Ozan. You know, it's always tough when these towns, it's not like people talk about them, so they have an unusual name, and I'm definitely probably going to mispronounce it. People let me have it in the comments, so Ozan, Ozan or Ozan. We'll see. I'm gonna guess Ozan. So this is a situation that always gets the best of me when I'm looking at Google Maps or something, and there's something called Moonshine Cemetery. I mean, how can you not take the sketchiest looking road ever to go see what the Moonshine Cemetery is? Kind of a cool cemetery, though. I don't know, why is it named Moonshine Cemetery? And it looked like it's just a, family cemetery. Beautiful, really nicely done. So, who knows? Kind of glad I stopped, though. I was able to get in and out of Ozan, saw a cool old church, and it didn't rain. So I've got 3 hours to get to my hotel, and I was hoping I would get done earlier today, but I got a late start, plus I had a couple hours of sitting in the rain waiting. So, it is what it is, and I'm just going to go ahead and head towards the hotel, and hopefully tomorrow is a little more clear and tomorrow's the last day, so I got 2 of the towns left to visit of the top 10, and there's a couple ghost towns that I'm hoping to hit up too. So as long as it's not raining, I should be able to do it. But we'll just wait and see. On to Russellville, Arkansas. On the drive back here, I'm going through Washington, which I came through on the way to Ozon, and it's a historic place. And so I'm not going to make a video, for the channel like a normal video, but I'll show you a little tour here of Washington. It's very, very cool. I'm so easily distracted by a place like that. Certainly would be a great place to do a video about, and you might wonder, well, why don't you just do one? You're there, you got some time. But a few things. One, there was a lot to see there. I just showed you a few things. They got an Airbnb jail. That was cool. I'm gonna have to see how expensive that is. But I really don't know anything about Washington, Arkansas. I'd have to sit there and do some research, and then it is, stay on the road here, it is, rainy, kind of sprinkly, and I wouldn't want to rush through that and just not do it justice, because there's a lot there. But mental note, and I'll definitely be back here and do a video on that someday. Don't know when, but yeah. So that I got about 10 miles knocked out of the 190 miles to go. So hopefully I don't have too many more distractions. I can get to the hotel in a reasonable hour. Another quick change. Got to keep the blue shirt fresh for one more day. And I'm driving. I got another 10 miles, and I realized I'm now in Hope, Arkansas. And I pay attention a little bit as I go through life, and I was like, what is something as from Hope? And I look, and it's where Bill Clinton grew up. So I looked on the map, and sure enough, you can find Bill Clinton's childhood home. So we're here. Let's go see what it looks like. Kind of interesting. I would think that Bill Clinton's childhood home would be more of like a museum or something, but it looked like just a regular house in the community. I'm not sure anybody lives there. There was some like artwork and kind of interesting. I'm not sure quite what was going on, but it didn't look like any type of a museum of any kind. The town of Hope, pretty cool. Another place I might need to come back and check out. A lot of cool old historic stuff. Obviously, having Bill Clinton from here gives your town some interest. Bill Clinton is obviously a Democrat, but Mike Huckabee was a governor and a Republican nominee for president at one point. So interesting that they're both from here, and yeah, very diverse area. Okay, we'll see if we can get through the rest of the 170 miles left without any more distractions. I'm up bright and early this morning. Got a few things to do before I head out on the road. I do a weekly newsletter for Wichita State Track and Field on Sundays. So on a day like this where I'm going to get out and adventure, I get up early as I can. It's about 6:45, and that's early for me. I'm not a morning person, but so writing this newsletter and then kind of planning out the rest of today, and should be a fun last day. It's another chance of rain, so hopefully we can dodge those raindrops. Done with my newsletter, and so getting ready to send that out. Another thing is I released a video this morning. This was the morning that I released a video about Coldwater, Kansas, and so interesting to watch how that goes. So right here is when the video got released this morning. This is minute by minute on YouTube. This is some analytics behind the scenes. So that's 7 a.m. You can see people started watching it, and then this is each video, the last hour, so you can see there how it got released. And then there's other videos, you know, the top like 30 videos, how many views they got. You can sort it different ways. This is the last 48 hours, hour by hour. You can see how it dips in the overnight, and then here's about a half an hour of 7 o'clock. So pretty cool that people get up early in the morning and watch videos that I make. I appreciate it. It's really neat to do the YouTube channel and connect with so many people out there. So first town is, I believe, called Corinth, and then the last town is over here, that name, Wiedeker. And so that'll conclude the there's actually 11, there's a tie for 10th there, 11 towns in the top 10 smallest. And then Wichita's this direction. So there's a couple other towns I was trying to look up, maybe ghost towns here, and then I got to figure out which way I want to go back to Wichita, if I want to go through Oklahoma or Missouri. And not sure yet. I think I'm going to wait and see how the weather is. About 30 miles. This was the closest I could get to Corinth in terms of the hotel stay. I had a little coffee at the hotel, and what is that noise? Well, this was not the way I wanted to start the day. You know, I've traveled a lot in my life, and you can get frustrated in situations like this and just get mad and be like, oh my gosh. But I've traveled enough. I've flown around the world and missed connecting flights that go to different countries. And you know, all you can do is roll with it and adjust to it. This is a very minor setback. So we'll get this tire fixed and we'll get back on the road soon. So I just got a call from the guy who's going to come and fix the tire. And so he's going to put the donut on that's in the back. So I was thinking he was going to come and fix the tire, or like replace the tire. So now I've got a decision to make, because I'm pretty far from Wichita and I've got gonna have a donut on this vehicle. So,
Well, this is not going to be as simple as I thought. So I thought that when I called them and they told me AAA was coming, they were going to charge whatever, I thought that seemed a little cheap. But what they didn't tell me was they were just going to come and change the tire, put the donut on. I could have done that myself. And now I need to go actually get another tire, pay for that, and which will definitely be more expensive. But fortunately I'm in Arkansas and there's a Walmart on every corner. So that's where we're heading. The Walmart is pretty much on a Sunday morning, my only option. So 9:40 right now. We're rolling down the road on a donut, heading to Walmart. The adventure continues. Okay, so here's the update. So Walmart, by the way, great. They're really good guys here in Russellville, Arkansas, Walmart. The guy suggested I try to just repair the tire, and then when looking at the tire, there were multiple problems with the tire. There was like a nail in the tire, but there was also a big gash in the tire. But there were like 3 different things, and one of them was leaking, and we could have repaired that, but just I was like, man, if this tire's got other problems, I don't want to take the chance. You know, I'm still going to go to these couple towns today, and I'm still going to have a long drive to Wichita tonight, so I don't want to get stuck late, you know, in the dark or something like that with another flat tire. So I'm getting a new tire, but I'm going to take the old tire back to Hertz, or maybe I'll need to start a GoFundMe for my tire repair. Just kidding. I'm good. No problem. So anyways, going to hang out in Walmart for a few minutes, but I think they're going to get things changed pretty quick here. New tire, and then we'll be back on the road. We are back on the road. Okay. That whole ordeal took probably almost 3 hours. As my boss at Wichita State Track and Field often says, if this whole thing with the tire, if it's the worst thing that ever happens to me, I'll live a long and happy life. So I think I'll take that advice. But now I'm headed to Corinth. We got 26 miles to go. Finally heading out. Let's get this last day started. Corinth was a weird town because usually, even in these smallest of towns, there's some sort of a city hall or some administrative building. Sorry, it's a bumpy road. And there was nothing except this old church. And if you watch the video, the 10 smallest towns in Arkansas video, you saw I went inside the church. So that was pretty cool. Went in, and instead of getting a t-shirt, I got a different kind of souvenir. So after a little bit of driving, I'm gonna decide to head on back to Wichita. So there's some other places I thought about checking out, but I gotta work in the morning, and if I head back now, I'll get back at about 8-9 o'clock p.m. If I continue exploring, it'll be pretty late before I get back. So hopefully you have enjoyed this. It's different. Certainly I'm not going to do a lot of these kind of videos, but thought it might be interesting for some people that are really intrigued by what I'm doing to kind of ride along. So it was a pretty good adventure, seeing all these Arkansas towns, having a little bit of bad luck with the rain and then the tire. But all in all, it was a good trip and really enjoyed it. I hope you did too.